Hey, how's everybody doing today? We just doing a little video, just a short video to cover something that may become a problem for you fellow YouTubers out there. I bought this amazing aluminum monopod. Now you look, it's got fold out feet. It doesn't have the huge feet of a tripod where it takes up a bunch of floor space. I love this thing. It's relatively lightweight. It does have some tilt to it on the bottom. But the problem that I ran into trying to shoot a video recently of the Pokemon League Cup is this thing's tall enough to get up above kind of where you can see over the table and watch the gameplay. But the problem is when you put a cell phone holder on top of it, it doesn't have enough tilt to be able to shoot downward towards the table. So I thought to myself, well, what in the heck am I going to do now? I got this really awesome monopod. I got a cell phone holder that works really good, but I got nothing in between. Well, let me take you over to the table cam and I'll show you what I did to solve this issue. So we got over here. Now here's our monopod. There it is. And there's our cell phone holder. I found this online. This is a camera holding tripod head. So we're going to see what this entails, and hopefully this will be the answer. Now this thing's rather big and bulky. I wasn't crazy about that, but the price was great on it. I couldn't beat the price, so I got it, and we're going to try it out. And I got to move the microphone here just a little bit. There we go. Get that over there a little better. All right, so let's see what's inside of this. Besides cutting through the handle with the scissors, we should be in good shape. There we are. Now, I know there's a little screw inside. Now, what this is for is in the event you have the larger or smaller thread style. I'm not sure which one we're going to have yet. So this thing looks like it has a complete full range of tilt if I can figure out how to do it. We might have to get it mounted up and see what it does here. It's got this way tilt, which is really nice. We got to get that way tilt. Well, let's get it mounted up and we'll see where it goes. So our cell phone holder should go on top here, I believe. We'll see what we can do with that. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So that's going to be our cell phone holding end. We've got that little button down there that likes to grab onto the camera when you're trying to put it on. So we're going to have to deal with that. Oh, that's going to be a pain in the hind end. Alright, well, we'll see what we can do with that. But it looks like, first of all, it looks like this handle is removable. So if you're going to collapse this thing down, you can do that by removing this handle, I think. Maybe not. Maybe I'm a liar. If you've had other tripod equipment, this stuff is relatively the same. There we go. Let's get that out of the way. So I'm going to make an assumption that this has to screw onto here. And again, a lot of this stuff is new to me, so I'm trying to figure it all out. See, that'll come completely off. And then that also gives you the opportunity to take that off and use the larger threads if that's what you want to do. But I like this mount. I really do. That actually holds that on there, so we're going to turn that back on, maybe. The nut goes to the larger thread that's on the bottom of that. So I got to get this in a position where I can work on it, so bear with me for a moment. It's a little bit funky to try to get that thread started on there for that big nut, and for some reason it is not cooperating with me. We'll try again. Always try again. And we have to get that down a certain distance, and it just is not grabbing. All right, for the purposes of this, I'm going to take that strap off and try it that way. See if we can get a little more thread that way and get a little more distance. Because for some reason it doesn't seem to want to thread on there, and it is not threading on there. Why is this being a pain in the hind end? Yeah, it's like that doesn't even thread on there. Well, we'll have to play with the parts as we go along, but let's see what this will do. This should screw on top of there. Oh, I bet I know what the problem is. I bet this is the bigger thread, okay? So we got to have this insert right there to go inside of there to make that into the smaller thread. I bet that's the case. And I'm not reading the directions because then I'd have to learn how to read, and we don't want to do that. And let's see if we can get that thing to start. There we go. Okay, that started in there, so that's nice. And this has a flat-bladed screwdriver ability on it. So we're gonna grab our handy dandy tool over here. We got the multi-tool sitting right here in the studio. And we got to remember where everything is. So I think the flat-bladed screwdriver is over here. Yeah, there we go. We got the can opener and we got the flat-bladed screwdriver. So we'll get that out. We're going to turn that thread in there, get it nice and tight. That way it doesn't try to back out on us when we try to use this thing. Now, theoretically, that should make that thread smaller. Okay, it does. So now I got to try to figure this other piece out. Oh, that's why that thing threaded down inside of the tripod or the monopod. We got all kinds of thread there. Okay. Let's get back to this and try to reassemble this thing properly. So the strap goes on. There we go. And then this guy goes on. Now this, again, has the nut on there for the larger thread. So we should be able to get that started. Yep. Okay. There, now we got some thread sticking out for our smaller one. There we go. I knew I had a way to do it. I just was having trouble trying to figure out how. So then we can put this on. This will go on our monopod. Oh, whoops. What did I do? All right, so that's on our monopod. So now, theoretically, oh, this thing's being a pain. We should be able to turn this, and this should be able to tilt. There we go. Look at that. That's nice. Okay. All right, so now we got that straightened out. Had to do a little reconfiguring, but that's all right. We put the handle back in, and this should allow us to tilt and turn things as we want. We'll get that nut threaded on there so that the handle's tight. There we are. There we go. Okay, now we're in business. All right, so let's grab a phone. See if I can put this big monster phone of mine on here. There we go. So there you have all of this is your assembly. And like I said, I would have this thing standing up, but the phone would be straight up and down, and that didn't help anybody. What's that one do? Well, that's just to tighten up the holder. Okay. So now if we wanted to tilt this, probably have to get the phone in the right position. We could turn it in different directions in different places. This one bothers me a little bit, but take a look at that. If we get this phone holder over here where it's supposed to be, and I don't know if we're going to be able to with that silly little tab on it. That makes things a little bit more interesting. Oh, there we go. There's how we do that. Let's get that mounted the way it should be. We had to get around that little plastic tab. And I knew there was a way to do it. It's just been a little while since I've used my camera tripods. There. So then we can take this, and this should fit inside of here. There we go. Come on now. Whoop, come on now. Get in there. Is that the wrong way? Maybe. Yeah, it was the wrong way. Okay. Oh, gosh sakes. Guys, don't do this when you've only had 2 hours of sleep. It's not easy to do. But it should be relatively easy to take care of. I'm going to switch this back over to the desk cam in just a minute so I can show you this thing in its entirety as it stands. So let me expand the tripod a little bit, and then I will show you what this looks like in working position. There we go. There. Okay. Let me switch over there. There we are. So now you can take a look and you can see we're on our monopod. Everything stands up on its own. And we have the ability to tilt this camera. Look at that. And then we just tighten it back up there. And we can, maneuver things here if we wanted to go sideways or whatever. That's a nice little gadget. Now I know all this stuff is buyable, and you can buy a tripod that has this kind of built into it. But I wanted to have a monopod because, again, it takes up a lot less space with the legs on the bottom. And this gives me the ability to stand this thing up. And if you take a look at this thing, I'll see if I can expand it all the way, if it's going to let me. I'm still learning how to use it. That thing gets pretty tall. That thing's almost as tall as I am. So if I wanted to put this at the end of my table right here, let's say, right? And then I say, okay, well, that's great, but I want to film down there on the tabletop and show the games that we're playing. Well, we can do that by just taking this and turning that. And now we've got almost an overhead view of how the game would be played, or you can do your cards or your things on there. So that's kind of a nice little bit that we got to add on to our monopod. The monopod is not the most, like it likes to move if it's not balanced, and it's intended to do that at the bottom so you can have some flexibility. Like it's like a 20-degree flexibility. Probably not the best for a stationary situation, but if you're putting it up against the end of a table, like I will be using it for, and using it to shoot overhead shots, I think this is going to be exactly what I needed. I really like it, you know. And then I like the fact that I can collapse this down to as high or, oops, excuse the microphone there, to as high or as low as I want. This folds up and has a nice little bag for it to go in. Your cell phone goes on really easy. You can tilt your cell phone now. You can tilt it in just about any direction. But the fact that this thing also, you know, you take, there we go. Let me put this out of the way for a minute. I like that. That's pretty nice. My cell phone is huge. Okay, here's your average cell phone. This is an S10. Mine's a Note 10. Mine's a Note 20. And you can see that even as big as this Note 10 is, my Note 20 is considerably bigger. And a lot of cell phone holders don't like this big giant phone. This one takes it pretty easily. So I'm pretty happy. Anyway, there's a little video for you guys, just showing you kind of the trials and tribulations we go through as YouTubers to try to make our content as good as it can possibly be as far as camera quality and things. There we are. And I'm into that total setup for probably about $80. And a good tripod's going to cost you that much. The fact that this thing is a lot more versatile than a standard tripod, it takes up a lot less floor space, and it's pretty lightweight because it's made of aluminum. So it's pretty cool. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you stopping by to check out this short video. Like, share, subscribe, ring a ding the bell notification, comment below, let me know what you think. Maybe let me know what you use if you're out shooting and recording videos for YouTube or any other things that you might be doing it for. Let us know what you guys use. Till next time, gang, I finally made that monopod work for me. And you can do it too. So give it a try. We'll see you next time.